I wanted to come on here and talk about this situation involving Kevin Frazier and the comments that he made towards black actresses in quote unquote educating people like Sharon Osbourne on racism. And shout out to Lisa Cabrera because she did a very potent video talking about this very same thing. And honestly, I probably would not have paid any attention to it if Lisa did not talk about it. And I have to say that I am so sick and tired of Negroes like Kevin Frazier coming out and throwing on the cape for people like Sharon Osbourne. Or as people have now dubbed her, Karen Osbourne, because she literally let out all of her Karenosities in the past week. And a lot of stuff is getting exposed about her. And I'm so glad that that's happened. She should have just kept her mouth shut. She did more damage to herself and her reputation than good, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and read this article coming from page 6. And it says Kevin Frazier blasted for suggesting black women educate Sharon Osbourne. And he should be put on blast. Entertainment Tonight's host Kevin Frazier suggested that a number of prominent black women in Hollywood come together to help Sharon Osbourne, quote unquote, learn about race. First off, and if y'all watch Lisa's video, I'm going to probably have some of the same talking points as her. Palm cutlet, especially those from the UK or from over there across the pond, they don't need to be educated on racism because they are the people who put out racism into the world. How can you educate people on something that they put out there? Like, that's dumb. Black people weren't the ones that brought race to the forefront. It was them. But see, they're trying to run away from it and then put it on to other people. That's why so many, you remember at one time they they came up with that phrase reverse racism, which isn't even a thing, because they're trying to get away from them in the part that they played in it, which was a huge part. Let's see what else they said. They said it backfired on him spectacularly. Frazier interviewed Osbourne on Tuesday about the fallout from her explosive on-air discussion with her, the talk co-host Cheryl Underwood, which saw the show taken off air pending an investigation. He posted a photo from the chat on Instagram tagging Osbourne and Underwood, as well as former talk co-host Holly Robinson Pete, who accused Osbourne of calling her ghetto, and actress outspoken racial justice advocate Amanda Seales, or as I call her, Amami Seales. He also tagged Meghan Markle, who was the subject of the fiery exchange with Underwood, and Bachelor host Chris Harrison, who was embroiled in his own race scandal. He suggested that they have a summit, saying, at some point we all have to reach a point where we can sit together and have a tough conversation about race. I don't know what happens next for Sharon Osbourne, but I do know it's time for a meaningful conversation, a learning moment. She is ready. Let's break down the nonsense that he just wrote, because that's all it is. He said they have a summit. A summit? This is about as bad as when they say that, remember at one time when those businesses had to have sensitivity training or racial sensitivity training whenever they had a employee that was racist to a customer or something like that, or how they have to do extra training with these cops? This is no different. A summit, Kevin Frazier? Are you serious? There's not a summit in the world that can get rid of the venom that came out of Sharon Osbourne's mouth that day or at any other point in her career. He then says we have to reach to a point where we can sit together and have a tough conversation about race. Here's the thing. There have been endless and countless conversations about race that can last a lifetime. If the people who are the conveyors or the pushers of race don't want to have the conversation, or they, just kind of shrug their shoulders at it, like, what can you really do? They're going to continue to do it. If they have it, it's just to save face. He said, I don't know what happens next for Sharon Osbourne. Who cares what happens next to her or for her? But I do know it's time for a meaningful conversation, a learning moment. She is ready. Well, then, see, this is what I keep talking about when you have these silly Negroes like Kevin Frazier throwing on the cape for people like this. And for years, I've always got that vibe from Kevin Frazier. I'm glad now he has allowed his true self to come to the surface. Because I've always gotten those Sambo vibes from him, but I couldn't really put it on him until I actually witnessed it, and here it is. Osborne liked the post, but it did not go over well with several black actresses, including Insecure star Mamie Seals. You must be out of your goddamn mind. How about you put your energy into providing a safe space for those on the show who have been terrorized by her rampant racism, classism, xenophobia, she replied. Fraser shot back. Been doing that for years. I wanted to hear your thoughts. That's why I tagged you. I respect your opinion, not trying to get into a scrap. He says, well, you missed the mark this time, brother, Seals said, and she put brother in all caps. Meanwhile, Sherry Shepard sarcastically said she must have missed Osborne's public apology to Underwood and another former co-host, Julie Chen Moonves, who has been accused of calling wonton and slanty eyes, which Osborne denies. Shepard added, don't think Sharon is anywhere near ready. She definitely didn't apologize to her, and I talked about that last week. Fraser ended up deleting. I'm sure he did end up deleting the post because he got that ass lit up on that post. Well, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. He said on Wednesday he attempted to clarify his intentions. I don't know why. Basically, that's what someone does when they know they messed up. I was suggesting there be a place in the mainstream where people like Cheryl and Holly could actually express their feelings without being muted or muzzled. And I can tell you that there were people who worked to mute Holly's voice after she left. That's not what you said, Kevin. That is not what you said. You said that people need to educate Sharon Osbourne on racism. That's what you said. Not this cleaned up version of what you put out there. You only switched up and deleted the post because you got that ass handed to you in the comment section. If you had people that agree with you, then you would have left the post up. You said what you said. Stand 10 toes down on it. Pete, who believes Osborne may have had a hand in getting her fired from the show in 2011, appreciated the follow-up post. Thank you for acknowledging the way I was treated after being let go from the talk in such an unnecessary, mean-spirited way. Sharon was a part of that. She knows it. No matter what she says, now it's all coming out, and I don't think she's close to being ready for any kind of accountability. That's just my opinion. Accountability. I swear that word should come laced with kryptonite, because I swear that is a word that is so universal and can apply to so many people. Seals, on the other hand, reposted his original post and told him to cut the kumbaya tactics. It's so easy to protect black women. It's not the responsibility of black folks to educate white folks on how they cannot be trash ass folks. Okay, they effing made up racism. Why the F? We got to teach you how to not be racist, she said in a 5-minute video. To expect us to do that and to, as a black person, try and rally folks into that space is just foolish and also not respectful of our time and our energy. Well, first off, Mamie Seals, while we see what you're saying and what you say actually has some validity, we still haven't forgotten what you did to that Dr. Myron Roll a couple years ago and how you tried to almost get him caught up, a black man. We still haven't forgotten about that. She will want us to hope that we forgot, but I ain't forget. She added that Underwood and Robinson Pete have been at the brunt of this woman's racist BS and said, so basically you're asking victims to come and have a nice little sit down with their attacker so that this bitch can feel better. No, we are not on the rehabilitate white people train. A rep for ET and Fraser did not comment. The thing is, what else could Kevin Fraser say? What else could he possibly say to that? He knows he messed up with that statement and he has to, stand on it. Like, you expect that. I say this on Twitter a lot. Black people, this is the year. Do not throw the cape on for these people. When they say stuff like that, let them hang out to dry. That's all you can do. There's nothing that there is no rehabilitation for people like a Sharon Osbourne. It just isn't. She said what she said, and she meant just that. Stop trying to redeem and to save people like that. They cannot be saved. And Kevin Fraser, you should have known better. You should have known better. I was getting ready to say something else, but I had to refrain. But yeah, this whole throwing the cape on for palm colored and all of their ignorance and racism and all the other isms you could think of that exudes from them, that needs to stop. That needs to stop. I posted up on Twitter. I said, as a collective in 2021, I believe this is the year black people, I forgot what I said. It's something about putting their foot down or something like that. And I had some people that agreed with me and some that didn't agree with me. And the people like Kevin Frazier actually helps to ruin that post. But then look at the position that Kevin Frazier is in. He talks about celebrities and entertainment every day. Like, what real world issues has Kevin Frazier actually come out and spoke on about that has affected black people directly? What is his stance? I want to know. Kevin Frazier, if you're listening, what is your stance on reparations for black people? That would include you, because I'm going to assume that you are a black American born citizen. Because I don't know his background. I don't know if he is first generation or if he is or if he's foundational. But let's just hypothetically say he's foundational. Kevin Frazier, what is your take on reparations for black people? I need to know. Let's answer that question, and then we can go from there. But how he framed this, I don't even want to ask that question. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure that you text the number that is pinned down in the comments below so you can receive notifications every time I upload a new video.